From December the 9th to 10th, U.S. President Biden will convene the so-called Democracy Summit. A total of 110 modern countries and regions were invited, and Taiwan was among them. Once this list was announced, it caused huge controversy, and both traditional media and social media were full of voices of doubt. In fact, more than this list, the entire summit was full of irony from the beginning. There are nearly 200 modern countries in the international community. The so-called Democracy Summit initiated by the U.S. invited about 110 modern countries and regions to participate. What is noticeable is that mainland China, Russia, etc. were not invited. Unexpectedly, the U.S. invited India with human rights worries, and controversial Taiwan, China. As 1 in 200 of the international community, why have the power to make decisions for the entire world? This is the typical American exceptionalism, which is a complete hegemonism and runs counter to the word democracy. This democratic summit is more like a crazy meeting. The slogan that the U.S. shouted this time was oppose authoritarianism, combat corruption, and promote respect for human rights. However, since 2017, think tanks have downgraded the U.S. from a fully democratic country to a defective democracy, and it is still a partial democracy. What slaps you again is that on November the 22nd this year, the International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance also listed the United States as a democratic retrogressive country. How many people will be convinced that such a country holds a democracy summit? As a superpower with important responsibilities to the international community, the U.S. does not work hard to bridge differences and promote world integration. Instead, it uses democracy to build small circles to contain and suppress other countries, and provoke world divisions. The U.S. news website Axios commented that, the invitation list for Biden's summit underscores the messy nature of 21st century democracy, and U.S. relations with certain allies and partners. Russian presidential spokesperson Peskov also said, this runs counter to the global trend of thought. But despite this, the U.S. is still making such attempts. The joint article of the Chinese and Russian ambassadors to the U.S. in the National Interest magazine said, even more bluntly an evident product of its Cold War mentality. This is indeed the case. The United States has its own problems. So what right does it have to call itself a democratic leader? As for the Democracy Summit, this has already triggered international controversy before it even started, and it is probably its ultimate destination to become a joke.